Alright, so I've gotten the script taken care of for the next part of my Marvel Spider-Man recap. That should be ready soon. And I'm even about halfway through the planning process for the next Secret Invasion video I'm doing. So everything is going pretty well.
No! God,
What's that noise?
No! No! No!
Oh no. Not again.
No. Wait.
Okay, so as you've seen for what I've just shown you, the Marvel editors and writers are at it again. Now, this wasn't a video I had initially planned to do because, to be honest with you all, I had stopped covering a lot of the Spider-Man comic content because, I mean, do I have to explain? You all know why. And to be honest, reading the comics and watching what they were doing was just like, it was a headache, okay? Just plain and simple. But there's some things that they do in the comics that you just can't ignore. Now, this video doesn't have a script, so I'm pretty much coming right off the dome with it. And I'm gonna be kind of addressing some of these panels because I'm looking at the panels. I have them on the screen for you so you can see. These are preview panels for the next issue. Now, as you can tell, and if you haven't heard, Peter has been infected by the sins of Norman Osborn. Now, let me just stop right there for a second and just rant for a second about that, because you're taking something that Nick Spencer did, something that was actually pretty unique, and they basically turned it into like the worst possible thing they could have turned it into. Because you took Norman's sins, you made him a good guy. We knew that Norman wasn't going to stay a good guy because it's Norman Osborn. He's Spider-Man's greatest nemesis. We knew that was going to be the case. What we didn't know was that some genius on the writing staff and editorial would be like, hey, you know what would be cool? What if we gave Norman Osborn's sins to Peter Parker and turned him into a bad guy? A la Batman Who Laughs. That's brilliant. It's printing money, right? Wrong. The very idea of doing this is just... Okay, let me go ahead and tell you all, if you don't know, what's going on. Because, again, I haven't read, but I kept up enough to know what's going on in this particular sequence. So, Peter has Norman's sins now. In fact, if I read correctly, the Goblin Queen and Kraven were working together to infect Norman with his sins again. I don't know in what way, shape, form, or fashion they did it. I guess maybe it was a beam or a shot or something. Regardless, they say that Spider-Man took the hit and he was infected with sins. So he then proceeded to, if I read correctly, he then proceeded to bury Kraven alive and then take off. I'm not sure how the black suit became a part of this, and I'm pretty sure this is just a cloth black suit that he had on years ago. And symbolically, it does make sense from that standpoint, because Mary Jane is not a fan of the black suit. She didn't like when he had the cloth version of it on. I think it was just like a traumatizing thing because of an encounter she had with Venom way back when, when the stories were good. But he puts the black suit back on and he goes after Mary Jane and Paul, because in his eyes, of course, Paul took something from him. Goblin Queen is going to try to stop him, but obviously, as you see from this panel, that's not going to go too well. So Peter is basically kind of all in. He's basically trying to take Paul out. And well, hold on, wait. Let's think about this for a second. He's gonna get rid of Paul. That's what we wanted, right? Okay, let's think about this, Spidey fans. If he gets rid of Paul, then we don't have to worry about Paul's punk. Okay, I'm gonna refrain from cussing. We don't have to worry about the punk Paul. That's a good thing, right? You know what? That is a good thing. But there's one major issue. Again, if you're a Spider-Man fan, you know that Peter Parker would never, ever do something like this. And I know what you're saying, right? Well, hey, he's infected with Norman's sins. So technically, Peter isn't technically guilty. No, we know. We know as Spider-Man fans that regardless of the fact that Peter is infected with something, it doesn't matter. When he gets back in his right mind, that guilt is going to eat him alive. And that's the problem right here with this story and this idea. Because we know, for one thing, he's probably not going to succeed. Let's go ahead and say that right now. More than likely, he's not going to succeed. But just the fact that he attempted it, just the fact that it was his plan to do so, that, if Peter is written correctly, mind you, is going to eat him alive. He is very much so about responsibility. You know, great power comes great responsibility. That's his thing. He is honor and all that stuff. Peter Parker is about all that. And we also know that he's a very angsty character. So again, even if he doesn't succeed in doing whatever he does to Paul, it's going to bother the heck out of him that he even tried. We know Spider-Man, he's going to be like, oh, but I failed in my responsibility to overcome such things. And again, this is Spider-Man. We know out of years of following Spider-Man that that's how he thinks. So let's get to the other portion of these panels, because it's a lot to go off of here. Mary Jane, in all her brilliant wisdom glory, you know, she tells Paul to leave. Like, her only concern is Paul getting out of there safely. And again, I'm showing you these panels, and I'm gonna pinpoint some of these panels because, again, she's telling Paul to run, and she's like, well, he won't hurt me. And then she pulls out her jackpot thing, gauntlets or whatever, which, to be honest, I hadn't done a lot of research on because I hadn't really cared to look into MJ, because again, this comic is just oof. But you see here, when Peter is looking at her and he's kind of confronting her, and you see right here, you see he says, whoa, where'd you get that thing? Oh, right, he gave it to you. The weasel who took you away from me. And look at what Mary Jane says here. I'm a big girl, Peter. Nobody took me anywhere. Okay. We're gonna keep it together and look at this next line. Then it was you, my jackpot. You betrayed me. Did you think you wouldn't pay? Are you seeing this, people? Are you seeing this? This is what they're doing to our favorite character. A lot of our favorite character, because I can't say that everybody's favorite character is Spider-Man, but you get my point. Do you see this? Look at this, like this dialogue. Look at Mary Jane. They're about to fight. Mary Jane's about to fight Spider-Man, a man she's known for way longer than she's known Paul. And she's just willing to go to blows with him to keep Paul safe. Now, I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense, okay? It doesn't matter how much they try to rationalize it. Oh, well, Mary Jane was stuck with Paul for a couple years in that place. So? She's known Peter for 50 plus years at this point. Regardless of brand new day one, whatever. They have known each other for a long time, and now they're about to do battle over some punk with glasses who offers nothing to the story. He's annoying as a character, and he's pointless. He's literally there to put a rift between Peter and Mary Jane, and that rift has been physically manifested into this battle right now. They gave her powers so she could do combat with Spider-Man. We see the problem here, right? We see what they've turned Spider-Man into. Now, before I continue on that note, my best performing video, thanks to you all, is my Black Cat video about Peter being with Black Cat. And I've seen a lot of comments talking about, oh, that video has aged poorly now. And in a way it has. I mean, we see that Marvel has screwed that up, which I'm pretty sure in the video I said they would do. So give me props for that, because I said that they would not let Peter stick with Black Cat. But my point in that video was to a what if scenario of what if they handle things like that in a better way. Because if they handle things like that in a better way, then you wouldn't have stories like this. Right? Okay, right. So back to Peter and MJ. They're about to do battle. Again, these are just preview images for the comic coming up. And I don't want to read it, but I have to, because I feel like after reading it, I'm going to have to do another rant. This is probably going to be like part 3 of my video series at this point, titled Marvel is ruining Spider-Man because they are. And I couldn't let these little few pages go by without just fussing about it, because it doesn't make sense. What are y'all doing to these characters? Because I put it in my community tab yesterday, I think it was, one of these pages, and I was like, how did this person get hired? Why are they allowing this? Who signed off on this? And then, of course, I know the answer to that question. We all do. But the big question is, who are you writing this for? Because it's not for the Spider-Man fans. It's not for the old Spider-Man fans, for sure. It's not even for the new Spider-Man fans, because the newer ones, let's say the 10 to 15 year olds who might be picking this crap up, don't have enough of a connection to Mary Jane and Peter's relationship to really understand why this is supposed to be a huge deal, right? They don't have enough of a connection with Osborn at this point to really truly understand, unless they went back and actually read the good stories. So who are you writing this for? I'll tell you who they're writing it for. They're writing it for the damn selves. These writers are writing this for themselves. No actual Spider-Man fan is a fan of this. And we as Spider-Man fans have been fussing and cussing and complaining for 10 years. And they, especially in the past few years, because at least when Slott was doing it, we had problems, but we could stomach a lot of the stuff Slott was doing. This right here, this is like, I don't even know if I want to call it a slap in the face anymore. This is like a slap, a punch, a stone cold stunner, a RKO, an attitude adjustment, like whatever, all of the above. And it is to the point now where it's like, how much is enough? Because I see people saying that the Spider-Man sales is still at the top, and I guess that will be the top. It's Spider-Man, and a lot of people who are old fans are just continuing to buy it, A, because of habit, and B, because they're like, okay, well, maybe they'll get it together. Maybe they'll fix what they've done with Spider-Man. Maybe if we just stick with it long enough, they will finally do some justice to this character. And they haven't. They haven't. There's so much wrong with Spider-Man, and I as a longtime Spider-Man fan, my favorite superhero, again, it hurt that I just stopped reading his book, because it was no point. They were just doing so much damage. They had Peter doing things that Peter wouldn't usually do. They had Mary Jane doing things that she wouldn't usually do. Black Cat was a little inkling of hope, and we knew that they were going to do something to throw that story off. And even you look at things like Miles, and I've said this before, Miles is nowhere to be found in Peter's book. He is nowhere to be found in the Amazing Spider-Man series. And the fact that we have a sequel to Marvel Spider-Man coming in like 2 weeks, which does a perfect job displaying the dynamic of Peter and Miles and how they can interact in the same city. But the comics have yet to figure that out. Or they just don't care to figure that out. Miles recently had a run-in with Carnage. And you know who helped him? Tony Stark. Miles was kidnapped a few years ago by the Assessor. And you know who got mad and tracked down the Assessor? Tony Stark. Are you following me here? Just that alone, yeah, that's Miles' story. But do you realize how much that hurts Peter Parker's character? Peter Parker is the first 616 character that Miles met. That's his mentor. And Peter was nowhere to be found for 2 of these traumatic Miles incidents. Miles does not pop up in Amazing Spider-Man. What are you doing, Marvel? What are you doing? And I've said, I'm repeating myself. I feel like I'm a broken record, right? Because I'm saying the same stuff in all these videos, but I'm only doing these videos when Marvel does something stupid, and it's just, I can't ignore it. I have to talk about it. Now, again, I don't think that Peter's going to succeed in whatever he's trying to do to Paul. I think that Mary Jane's going to stop him, or she's going to do enough to get in his way, or they'll do something even crazier and have him maim Mary Jane or something like that. and then he's still gonna be scarred because he did something that he wouldn't have done otherwise. We know that, I think they said Norman has gotten Kraven out. We don't know what their plan is. I'm pretty sure this is all gonna pretty much lead to Norman taking on the sins to save Peter. But again, what damage is gonna be done in the process. Also, quick note again on the Miles thing. If where's Miles? Where are the other Spider people? I know they don't have to be here all the time, but come on, like, come on. What's y'all's focus, Marvel? Creating 1,000 Spider people? Because tell me, why is Nightcrawler Spider-Man right now? Can someone make some sense out of that? No? Okay, yeah, because Nightcrawler really doesn't interact with Spider-Man. Why is he Spider-Man? Okay. Look, Paul needs to go, okay? I said that before, I'll say that again. Paul needs to be gone. Hell, infect Paul with Norman's sins. Make him a bad guy. I would love that. I really would. But don't handle it like this, Marvel. This is stupid. You're trying to get clicks. You're trying to get news articles and reports. You're trying to get the clicks, and it's obvious at this point, and it's quite sad. And in the defense of Spider-Man, from what I'm hearing, there's some craziness going on over there in DC with Batman too. But I'm not gonna talk about that. This is a Spider-Man video. Look, I've ranted as much as I can rant about Spider-Man and how Marvel's treating him. I could go on for hours and hours and hours and hours fussing and cussing about everything that they have done wrong with Spider-Man. And to be honest, I might do that. Maybe when I get big enough to start streaming and everything, I go on a stream and we'll all just sit here and collectively dunk on Marvel for what they've done to their flagship character. Yeah, we might do that, or I'll have a guest on and we'll talk about that too. But look, I gotta get back to working on my content for Marvel Spider-Man, because the second game, like I said, is coming out in 2 weeks. I've completed the first game. I went and played back through it, and so I have like 2 more videos on the first game. I gotta play through Miles again and then do some videos on that. So I've got like at least 4 videos that I gotta do just on that alone, and I got 2 weeks to do it. And also, if you haven't yet, please watch the first part of my Secret Invasion video, because that's a setup for what I'm doing in the second part. It hasn't gotten a lot of traction right now, but I definitely need some more feedback on that so I can know how to I guess formulate the second part, because I have an idea in my head and I've kind of constructed it, but it would still be nice to get some feedback on that. So hit that like button if you like what you saw here. Please drop a comment. I would love to see what you all have to say about what's going on with Spider-Man right now. And subscribe, please, if you're new. And remember, we have the high ground. Catch you later.